my vision, actually. So I tend to think of it as potential, and that is driven by kind of combustible ingredients. Like, that's another analogy, spiral, and then it's sort of putting things into the soup that you think are going to unlock something that actually you've never seen before. And that's then the great journey of the process, is experiencing the results, rejigging what you think you wanted to what you're now seeing, getting thrown the thousands of challenges, because I think we'd all admit that being a director is about actually not being afraid of the challenges and dealing with them head on and using challenges to push you to something further and going farther than you thought you could.
Could you give an example? Like, did you always envision Pippin as being a circus version of Pippin?
Yeah, that's a very good example. You know, I loved Pippin my whole life. I saw it on Broadway when I was a little girl, and I really wanted to do Pippin. I wanted to do a revival of Pippin. I wanted to do it for the audience that's been waiting for a revival of Pippin. I wanted to introduce it to a next generation of audience members. But in a way, I knew I couldn't do it until I understood what the vocabulary of that troupe was. And we knew we were going to work with the Fosse, that we had to bring back the Fosse, because that was inextricably linked to Pippin. But I had also been following the work of Sept Trois de la Main, which is this circus troupe out of Montreal, and I kept thinking they should be on Broadway. What they do is remarkable and virtuosic and human and emotional, and it should be seen on Broadway. But it was that moment of saying, okay, maybe they are the right match for this. And then meeting, actually, Chet Walker, who was the choreographer on Pippin, and him telling me that Bob Fosse loved the circus, and that he was so fascinated by Fellini and circus, and that he never wanted to repeat himself. So the idea of reviving Pippin and taking it one step further was something that he felt, Mr. Fosse would bless. It was at that moment that I thought, okay, still not knowing what it would mean to have an acrobat or to have, Andrea Martin do that number upside down. Like, we had no idea, but we just knew there was potential, and that's how it started. And I have to say, when you asked your question, I was thinking of Pippin. That was one where I had a dream of, wouldn't it be great to see people standing on their hands upside down singing? And I think we kind of did that, so yeah.